Okay, so I'm outside my place and the video just went off when that neighbour come up accidentally. So unfortunately I'm starting again. I've just moved in front of my place outside onto the street to get the sun for the day for you. I hope I can maintain holding on to the mobile. I'm just outside of next doors really because the sun was behind that tree, so I couldn't get it. I don't know if it's any good, but the sky is very clear. I'm sure I'm not going to... Oh, I can hardly hold the thing. That's the trouble. I am sorry that, I can see what I'm doing, but because the sun is so bright, I actually can't see. Whereas I've got it round the right way today to where I can actually take proper photos, if you know what I mean. Whereas normally if I'm talking into it, you see me, and then I film the street, I actually don't know if I'm getting it in properly. But there is the sun. Is it any good? Am I getting my gloves in the picture accidentally too? Because I'm really trying hard to hold it. Just push it a bit further if I can. It's very clear and bright, so it should show you how the sun is looking today. How the sun is looking today on see, it's so bright I can't actually see what I'm filming. I should be able to see, but I can't see what I'm filming. Oh, now I can, because I'm out of that sunlight. It's two garbage tins. Today is the 12th of October, I think. 12th of October 2020, I think. Unless it's the 13th. No, I think it's the 12th. It was yesterday the 11th, I'm not sure, but I think it's, at any rate, it's some grey cars coming on. See how they like the grey car now? I mentioned that, but most people think that's silly. Oh, did I show the no birds? The Matrix, the video went off, but I'm going to show it again, hopefully. But the neighbour come up, you see, to interrupt the video because I was going fine. The neighbour come up with the walking stick, that's just, look. This is synchronicity for me. See? That's mockery. I like birds, okay? And the video will probably go off because of what I'm going to say. That is just outside my place. And I've seen many of these around with cars and things with no birds written on them. Can you see that? Here it is again on the side. Look. Synchronicity. Some people would say that's just a brand. But I have noticed it for a number of years now, actually, this no birds thing. Because I like birds, as you know. And I'm going to say, and I was standing here when the neighbour come off and the mobile went off, so maybe I'll get it in if I keep trying. Now, that... I hope it's coming out. I'm going down just back to my place because that van is just next door. Okay. Now, there was noise coming from the place opposite too, just before I started the video. Having a lot of trouble getting the video today. I've had about 10 attempts. 12 actually, because... Oh, there's water running out that place opposite there. Is that a sidetrack of some sort? See how it's just leaking out? It's not going to come out on the video. I don't know what that means. See, that's synchronicity too, but it's not coming to me. I'm not getting it. But that no birds thing on this car here, which actually was parked here in the video the other day, I just didn't notice that it was the no birds type of van thing. Either that or they've added it and brought a different one in since then. Because there's so many Matrix cars, you can get bamboozled, but it looked very similar with the emblem on the front, but it might be a different car. But either way, I'm going to try to keep the filming straight here. That no birds thing, you know how much I like the pigeons. I mentioned that there was a squashed one when I went into the 7-Eleven to buy the coffee, as I often do, down the road. But a few days after that, I was coming back down Norton Street, just down here, and it was a quiet Sunday morning. And I actually remember thinking, this is the best that the Matrix is ever going to be for me, because although there was a few Matrix people on the street, and of course a few Matrix cars. There wasn't as many trucks, and it wasn't real busy. But then just when I was starting to feel a bit good, this is the vibration thing, remember this? I'm getting agitated here in saying this. I walked smack into a dead pigeon right in the middle of the footpath. A beautiful bird too, beautiful big bird, dead. And of course a Matrix person come down and said, past me and said, "What a pity." And I said, "Yes, beautiful bird." And I stood there for 5 minutes looking at it. The Matrix doesn't like this, and of course I couldn't leave it there. So I had to bury it. And I don't like touching anything dead. I've always had a funny thing about that. It's not right to think that way, but even though I have that fear, not because of contamination or germs like you would expect either, I took my coat off and grabbed it with my coat, and there happened to be a great big flower pot right next to it where it had been knocked and killed, whatever. And I dug a hole with my hands in the dirt and dug it deep enough and placed the bird in, and then walked home. Not far, it wasn't far from here even. The next day, and there were 3 pots there by the way, and I used the middle one. The neighbours are coming out opposite. I will just say nothing because they're trying to distract me from my conversation. They're slow coming out opposite. Here comes the Matrix car. This is all to distract me from making myself sound coherent on the video. I'm just going to go away from them, to be honest. I've had them, especially when they come out in droves like that out the house. Here we have the Matrix truck. Matrix truck on the street. Haven't seen as many trucks on the street over the last week or two. But those people opposite looking at that truck, because they know they're all part of a synchronised community Matrix car, vehicle, system, program, whatever word you want to use. I don't know what word to use it. He's going to pull in here, of course, as they always do. But of course this is legit, you see, because that is like, they would say she's silly because that is a little bit of a bottle shop there. So they have a reason for the big bottle van to pull in. Matrix always provides legitimate reason. They will pull out in that red car opposite. But either way, the bird thing, see how they distracted me from my conversation? I'm going to focus on these bins and actually ignore the thing. I think this is all relevant. I know some people think I'm overstating things, making little things seem important just for a video. I realise that. But it is synchronicity. Look, it really is. But, like I say, I put the bird into the pot and buried it. And there were 3 pots, okay? Listen carefully, there were 3 pots. This is just detailed proof of synchronicity if you think it's so, but it is so. But most people don't see it until it is really exposed to you very strongly, as it was. Yes, they like to distract. And that car, the truck there, of course, is winking at me. Look, see how it's winking at me with its lights, even though the fella is outside the truck? Like, what is the point in that? He can see me filming it, so he's actually enjoying it. But see how the lights are winking? Is it coming out? It probably isn't. Probably not. He probably thinks that. He actually shouted at me and said, "Turn the phone around." See how he's annoyed because he's on video? He's angry because he is of the Matrix and he knows that I'm filming. He actually shouted at me, that fella. That's never happened before with these Matrix people. He's actually intimidating me. He's actually frightening. He shouted at me. It wouldn't have come out. He said, turn the phone around. See, because he should think that I'm just talking. But, you know, I will just turn around then because he's actually intimidated me. That is rare, but that is because they do want to be covert. Now, why would someone do that? Like, I'm actually quite a long way away from him, and for all he knows, I'm just talking into my mobile because actually I've got it round the way where it looks as though I'm just talking into the mobile. But you see, he knows that he is part of a systematic matrix, and he doesn't. That is strange. That is strange because normally they ignore it and get about the business and they think she looks stupid. But that one there, with that truck, see how he's still blinking his lights? See how he's still blinking his lights? But I better keep away from him because he's dangerous. I know he can't, see, it's put me off what I was going to say. And I'm actually better stand in here now. Better stand back here now. But, see, they know what I'm doing because really I'm just a person standing on the street. If I go down Norton Street, every person on the street has got a mobile talking into it and walking around, but they're allowed to do it. But see, they know that I am not supposed to do it because I'm a human and they're of the Matrix. Because otherwise, why would he have shouted at me? Like, I'm only just got my mobile out looking, but he know. Anyway, I'm getting flabbergasted here and making myself look stupid. But either way, I was going to mention the synchronicity. I should be doing this inside, that's right, where I could just mention these things and make sense instead of trying to film outside and also telling you about some synchronicity. Okay, so I put the bird in. There were 3 pots, right? I put it in the second pot. The car is coming out the side. That's Matrix car coming out, will be coming out. See it? Coming out right up my side. Usual Matrix car coming out. Car coming out, but I'm going to go away from it because I am feeling for the first time quite intimidated, more than ever now. But anyway, like, why would he care that I am filming his truck delivering wine bottles to a wine shop? You see what I'm saying? Because he thought he was on video. He didn't mind me filming the truck or the wine, the fact that he's outside doing a random and plausible delivery. Like, there's nothing suspicious about that. So why would he have shouted out to me, turn the phone around? And why would he even know that I'm actually filming it? But he does, because these people are all connected. They're using technology. They know what's going on. They know they are part of a programmed, systematic car and vehicle matrix system that is patrolling and suppressing and keeping human beings to where you feel as though, like myself, even when I come out here now, you come outside your house, and you feel that you are literally still walking like as though you're in, as though you've got security around you all the time. You know how, like, if you transferred a prisoner from one prison to another or from a jail to another jail, you would have people around you walking with that prisoner to make sure he doesn't run away. They would stand next to you, and it's like that. That's how you feel when you go outside into the Matrix. You feel that, see how they've all gone quiet now? There's no cars coming at all after that incident. Normally there would be more cars coming on the street because this is broad daylight. I showed you the sun, didn't I show you the sun? I started off with the sun, didn't I? Because I've tried a couple of times to make this video, you see, so I'm getting a bit confused myself as to what I've actually filmed. But the synchronicity was this, right? And this is where you have to observe it and see the relationship yourself. There were 3 pots. I put the pigeon and buried it in the second of the 3 pots. great big pots where the bird actually had been killed. It looked as though he had been knocked by a car naturally and just flew onto the footpath as opposed to dying on the road and died there. That depends on how you see the matrix, but either way, I put it into the second pot because I just can't leave dead animals, especially one that is in good condition. And the Matrix was watching to see if I did this because it knows that I've done this many times in the past, even though I don't obviously encounter a dead bird every day. But either way, and it knows that I like birds. As you know, you can see the no birds on the car there. But either way, the next day I saw 3 pots when I walked down the back way. Instead of walking down the main street, I walked down the back way to avoid it being quite so busy. But they had 3 great big pots full of soil, exactly like the pots that were on Norton Street where I buried the birds. And that's what you call synchronicity, because it's like mocking me. And also it's showing you that, in a funny kind of way, I felt uncomfortable, as if to say, you think you buried that bird and did the right thing, but you're just a joke, And I felt uncomfortable seeing it. But see how the lights are starting to bounce off some of the cars? It may not be coming out, but on a really, like yesterday when it got sunny a bit later on, the light was bouncing off all the cars. As it is bouncing off now. It's actually bouncing off the lights on the cars now. But that is not natural light, even though most people would see it that way. It's a funny noise. There's a funny noise coming. There's a funny noise coming up there, but I think it's more like a natural noise. But don't forget, even natural noises are still of the matrix. If I walk down to the end of that corner there, which is the end of my street, without fail, there will always be a big bus coming up past me, back to the depot. In the past, as I pointed out, that would never happen. You would rarely have any buses going back or coming out of the depot in the daylight times. They usually come out early in the morning and go back late overnight. That was it. You would rarely see it. Now, you cannot, without fail, I cannot go down there without seeing it. Sometimes there will even be 2 buses coming up. And they usually have out of order on them or whatever, or not, But all I'm saying is this is where the matrix changed, because that was never the case. But I can't prove that to anyone. I can only prove that to myself. If I go down there and film the buses, every time I go down there will be a bus that comes, which has been the case over the last 2 years at least. 3 years really, but because obviously it's been 4 years since the matrix opened up, but it's become, but it opened up slowly and escalated, because it really, I think that it just gauges all the humans that are left, their frequency and vibration, and what their abilities are, and what they can do to influence or affect the matrix or change it in any way. And yes, those men are laughing fit to kill at me down the back there. I don't know whether you can actually see it. That lady is getting into her car down there, but I think we might just go away from her, because I'm going to just go to the letterbox, because I am feeling a little bit intimidated. See, on number 3, Henry Street, Leichhardt. I think I'm getting that in today because I can see what I'm looking at. Whereas normally, even when I go to the letterbox, I can't actually, I'm going to focus on the garden, because those men there have been laughing. You see, they've still got their lights blinking, as you can see. but I'm going to go off them because they have shouted out at me and I really don't like that. See the lady down there? She's got her car lights on. Can you see that? Broad daylight, car lights on, off she goes. See, that's another thing too, which I wanted to show if I could get that camcorder up and running when I go for a little trot down the main street, to show that I personally observe this. I'm just going to focus on my tree here because I'm feeling intimidated. It's very slow anyway. That's funny, that car just must have pulled in there, that one there through the thing there. Oh, I'm getting bamboozled here. They're making a lot of noise down the back there. This is not going to come out on the video, so I look as though I don't know what I'm talking about. Should I? There's a tree. Is the sun coming through the tree? Not much, I don't think. That's why I had to go out to film it for you. I did get it, didn't I? Will I show it again? Did I get it? I think I got it, didn't I? I filmed it at the start of the video, didn't I? Didn't I start on the actual sun? I'll go out because I don't think those men are going to object to me filming the sun, surely. Surely not. Surely not. Just getting some photos. There we go. That's not... Oh dear. They can see that I'm not interested in them. Okay. Oh. I just go onto the tree. Truck's just pulled away, so I'm gonna let it go because even though I should be filming it, it is where was I? I've lost my train of thought. See, the Matrix is having a ball today. I was just trying to point out synchronicity. Synchronicity, that's the word you use for where everything that is in front of you has a personal meaning for you or a significance. The Matrix relays back everything to human beings because it actually tries to mock them, control them, intimidate them, affect their mood, affect their way of thinking. There's the bus going. It's not going to come out, the bus. See how those buses are just going? You can't see it because it's just down the end of the corner there and it's blocked out. It's just a little bit out of the sight. I can see it fleeting bus movement through the tree there, but that's only because I'm used to it and I know that it's a bus, but the mobile will not pick that up. It's just that too far away. My naked eye can pick it up, but it's not intimidating. It is more so when you actually go down there and they always come up. And they are quite noisy, the buses too. They should be quieter, you know. I'm not sure what I'm trying to film here. As you can hear that it is relatively more noisy, even though the mobile won't pick that up too, just in a general way, even though the houses have reframed and are not making any noise today. There is no work going on in any of these houses, which there has been almost non-stop in recent times. But, you know, the Matrix is like that. It wants me to not make a video that shows anything. So the minute that I turn the mobile off, you know, they can bring in whatever they want. And this does happen. But there's a bus going down. It's not going to come out. It doesn't matter. I need to get the camcorder to go down. I know you'd say, why don't I take the mobile down? Well, I don't, because I like to keep this just as an indoor thing. That's my Matrix programmed psychological problems or issues that prevent me from doing some things. But I'm still not, even though I have psychological problems, which were programmed in, as they are programmed into most human beings, I'd say, from a young age, one way or another. Some are able to get on top of those. I have not, so I've failed. But you know, the Matrix is now trying to turn me into a psychopathic lunatic like 95% of the population or more. Hear that beeping of the horn? That's like, yes, that's right. Because they think that's normal. Hear that beeping? Acknowledgement? That's Matrix. The same as, that's synchronicity in a way, but that's Matrix operatives that are driving those trucks that are down on the City West Link, which is just at the end of the street there, through, even though you can't see it. That's a very busy road. That's because this is a total Matrix. That would not happen. Beep, see, you hear the beep? It's not going to come out on the mobile, unfortunately. But they are literally answering me down there on the highway. And this has been going on for quite a while. And if I could just walk down there with this mobile now, which I actually probably should be able to do, but I don't like leaving the front door open with the dog because he could possibly push through and get out. See, so I'd have to go and lock the place up and then go down, and maybe one day I'll give it a try just to show you the City West Link, which is just down the end of that street there. It's a dead end, but you can just get through there on foot. No cars can go through there, but you can get through there just on foot, just through the little tiny entrance just behind that big green thing there. And I could show you the City West Link. Which is like a little highway. Birds are flying there. No planes. No planes today at all. See, look at this clear sky, but no planes coming at all. No planes, they may not come much. It's at the present time. See, I was just trying to explain, and the Matrix sidetracked me because I was making a valid point, I think. See, this is how the Matrix works, right? And this is why some people would not think that I have any validity in anything I'm saying about a Matrix, because it is not consistent. Because a human being is not consistent, the Matrix brings in whatever it considers appropriate to suppress a human being on a daily basis. If they don't want to, if they know that it is not suppressing me by showing the Matrix cars coming onto Henry Street because I'm filming it, and therefore that gives me a slight upper hand, they don't bring them in. They will wait till I've turned the video off and then bring in whatever it is that they need to make sure that I am not feeling very good, very well. You know, they can use all different methods. There is a noise coming from down there. A frequency is coming out of one of the houses, but it will not be picked up by the mobile. But it is a frequency, and I can hear it reasonably. It almost sounds semi-technical and semi-natural, but it is a technical sound. But I have no idea what it is. Oh, that fella's going to finally get the Matrix cars going. That's just... See how it's now stopped? But you can't hear that. So you notice the difference. So that draws the attention. So we have someone coming out of the house just down there, which will not come out on the video. Bus going down there, but will not come out. Car pulling out over here where I'm pointing the camera, but that may or may not be. These things don't look very obvious, whereas if I have it right in front here, which they normally do, where it's normally that house opposite there, in front here, and here where this no birds vehicle has been parked. The car's pulling out there just there, but you will not see it. It's just behind the no birds van, but it is pulling out. But, oh, Matrix plane, but look how quiet. Can you see it moving? A little white thing moving through the sky. A tiny Matrix plane, look. And so quiet you can't hear it. So tiny, so quiet, it's not even going to come out, but it is there. It's a matrix plane, but it's making no noise, whereas most of the planes make at least some noise. So I would have actually missed that, but that was purely there for me, and no one else can even see or hear it. It won't come out, I don't think, even though it's a clear sky. That plane is so small, the white, it will see that this camera, this is a mobile, so it can't pick up something that is very small in a big picture, see a big sky like that, but it's gone now. But it was there. Actually, that's another thing too. Since I've been pointing the vehicles of the matrix out, I'm looking at absolute birds acknowledging that I was about to say I'm looking at absolute fool here. See how the bird's acknowledging that I look an absolute fool. Thank you, Mr. Birdie. I'm well aware of it. I'm well aware of it. It's a bit distressing for me, yeah. I mean, in fact, you know, basically when you get up, you were distressed even, you know, that is actually the truth. In fact, it's really not even distressed, but you make a video and you pretend that everything's okay. You speak clearly, you try to pretend that everything is normal and that you're making a video. Lights are bouncing off the cars, but or acknowledgement and mockery. But that's how I see it, because everything is synchronistic. In other words, the matrix, because when you realise that you're in a matrix, then the matrix will openly play with you. It'll openly toy with you, and it will openly torment you. While you are not 100% aware of a matrix, it will play covert. There's light coming through there. There's light starting to bounce off the cars, but they're not going to come out on the video. That is the matrix God entity, the light of the matrix God entity surrounding human beings, because this is its matrix. Next door's coming out. Oh, I'll have to go. Next door is coming out. I'm going to go here. I might just show you the church, seeing they've driven me up here, because I wouldn't have had time to get back inside the door without confronting the next door neighbour coming out. And actually I've had a few little difficulties in recent times with next door, so you know, just at a proper real level. Look at that sun, and I'm going to show you, oh geez, I am venturing from my place, but I'm going to show you the church. I don't know why. Oh, my foot is sore. Oh dear. Yes, the matrix attacks the human body, unfortunately, and that does affect me psychologically. I am a reasonably physical person and have been most of my life. Not I don't mean physical or athletic, but I mean I've centred mainly on the body and not been interested too much in the mind or the spiritual aspects of anything. This is a church, okay? Right, it's not opposite, but as you can see, it's like that place there is opposite, so it's like 3 doors down from opposite my place, which is on this side of the road. That is the other side of the road, directly opposite. There's the church. I can't even see what I'm filming, unfortunately. Oh, look at the sun. There's the church and the sun. I can't see what I'm filming because the light of the sun is too bright. We have the towers over there too. I can't see if I'm getting them in either. See the towers? Is it coming out? They're the Wi-Fi towers, quite close together as you can see, opposite my house. Is that relevant or not? I'm not sure if that is relevant or not. But look at the sun, and there is the church. Am I getting it in? It's too wide for my thin. I should have the camera on wide, but I don't know how to do that, unfortunately, to make a video. I've often wondered, because I think it looks funny having just the narrow. It's all right if you're just talking, but if you want to show Oh, the car's coming down. I feel very intimidated, strangely. Am I filming this? Maybe the sun is worth looking at. That is how the sun is now, today. Some days that ball looks a bit bigger, but whether that's what we would call in the Matrix an optical illusion, or whether the sun itself actually is being controlled somehow, I don't know. I do not know, but I do know one thing. See the towers? Is it coming out? They're very close together. There's the church, and there I'm going to stand just a bit further away. Oh, there's the church. Oh, there's the church. Make of it what you will. I don't know what to make of these things, so I'm just going to film them. But I can't see what I'm filming, which I've got it round the right way, but I still can't see because the sun is right in my eye. See how the Matrix defeats you? Am I getting the whole lot in by going further back? I don't know what I'm getting in here. This is a church that is opposite. It's a big church, as you can see. Big church. Am I getting it in? I have to move the camera to get it all in, I think. I don't even know what I'm doing here. And I'm actually 3 doors past my house, so I better get back. I'm feeling very intimidated, very stressed, and very... Yes, it is me. It is me. I'm just showing you that it is me, in case some of you think it's not me. Because, because we're in a matrix, even those that are in the know are as suspicious as what I am, or as careful. And yes, the matrix makes you paranoid or perceptive, but at the same time you become paranoid that everything is... see the towers over there? Are they coming out? Over those towers. Those towers are directly opposite my house, just at the back of that house. They're on the other side of the road. See, we have the no birds written all over this truck. Is it coming out? I wondered how that could be so popular that anyone would call themselves No Birds. But that's just Matrix playing and annoying me, basically. That's how I see it. And probably annoys other people too, other real human beings, because I'm no doubt that I'm not the only human being that likes birds, But nothing happening. I'm just looking at Phil. But it is actually a lovely day. But I've got interrupted by the neighbour didn't even come out, but they sort of come out, but then didn't come out. So I had to walk down there. So I can't see what I'm filming here. I've lost the control with my hands there. What is the point of the videos? Yeah, I mean, what is the point? I have to admit that I'm starting to agree with that, all right. The car's lights are bouncing off the cars. Yeah, you need to show more. And I lost my train of thought with making the point about synchronicity. That synchronicity is all around for real humans. But the Matrix also, I think, plays with the synchronicity. Because when you become aware of the Matrix and you're aware of synchronicity, so you know that everything has some significance to you, a fella's going to come out just in front there and drive out, so that, oh no, he's actually just going to walk up. That's interesting. But I'm not going to... Okay, so I'll just leave it. A bird is mocking me too. Because don't forget, the Matrix does have control because of possession. See how the bird is reiterating back to me, or not coming out, but I can hear it. That's like, it's kind of mocking, but it's also reiterating back to you an acknowledgement. At the same time, it's making fun of you, because the matrix plays with you once you are aware of the matrix and wake up to it. Then it will play you even more at the synchronistic level. So what should be there as sort of how should I say, some sort of benefit to where you might, because it still can be a benefit. It's still good to be aware of the synchronicity, but the matrix will also use it to make fun of you and to make you play more, or to kind of distract you, annoy you. But it still has validity, because it still almost has to show you something that is so. So it's kind of like that. But it will play you once it knows you're aware. So because it's like, now that you know, we know you will notice that. So we want to put it in a way that upsets you. Birds are flying over. That's how it works. No planes at all today. No planes, not one plane, because obviously they're going to wait. I will say this honestly, because this has happened. Cars coming down with their lights on in broad daylight. Just notice the lights on in broad daylight. Oh, I didn't get it in, but it's a grey car. See how it's the dark grey car? Maybe when it turns around I might be able to get it, but will it turn around? No, it's going to go into the house. I didn't get the fact that it had its headlights on in broad daylight. As you can see, this is broad daylight. Last look at the sun. Can we have a bird flying across the sun? Maybe? That might happen when I turn the mobile off or put it away. Oh, that's enough. I can't, yeah. Car pulling in front as usual down there. No headlights on. No headlights on. Okay, that's good. But either way, the synchronicity, I've lost my train of thought there, see. So that's the whole thing too, is that the matrix cars will come on the street. That's interesting. When I say interesting, I actually feel as though I feel totally different to what I felt just before I made the video. Like I'm speaking very clear and very relaxed, as though there's nothing wrong. And yet just before I made the video, I felt that I'd be floundering all over the place, which is kind of strange. Perhaps I just don't care. So when you're relaxed and you don't care, you become fluent. And that's how you're meant to be. But of course it's only temporary while I'm making the video, because that was the point I was going to make. I'll just stand here next to the bins outside my front door, and I just, the lights are bouncing off those cars, but I just, see if I move them then I get distracted, but they are bouncing off the cars just to the right of me. What I was going to say was, with the, she's banging the dishes next door very loud. That, and so is the traffic down the thing there, making a lot of noise. So I'm distracted because I was going to make a bit of it's the dog just barked too. I was going to make a valid point, but see, the matrix is now, what I was going to say was that I'm making this video and yeah, see, the dog is going to take me in there too, because when he barks like that, I think there's something wrong. Oh, see, they don't want me to make this valid point. And this is what I'm saying. This is how this matrix works, and I'm going to have to leave it for another video. See, they've got it. They've been successful at ruining the video. That's it. But the matrix will open up the minute I turn this mobile off. And even planes will start to come in, not over my head here, but if I went down Norton Street, or this is what happened, this is what's been happening over the last week. There have been no planes, but when I go out further away from the house when I'm not filming, they have had planes coming over. So that's interesting, but I have to go for the dog.